All right, what is going on, guys? Got another breakdown for UFC Vegas 48. Fun fight here at featherweight. We got David Onama taking on Gabriel Benítez. Onama's gonna have a 3-inch advantage in reach and height. I will start with Onama, I suppose. So, training out of Glory MMA and kickboxing, one of the better up and coming fighters from James Krause's fight team, which is so big these days. It feels like I can't keep track of everybody that is training over there. But yeah, Onama definitely stands out, and there's a good amount of tape you can watch from him on YouTube. Some of it's amateur, some of it's pro. He went 10-0 amateur. He was undefeated before he took his first UFC fight, which he took on short notice against Mason Jones. And yeah, that is kind of why the hype is here on Onama. He looked great in that fight. Really put it on him. I would say the argument could be made that he outstruck him in all three rounds. Jones was able to take him down repeatedly, but he was never able to really hold him down for too long. He would hold him down for a little bit, but he wasn't able to just rack up control. Onama did have some good scrambles, good get-ups, and then on the feet, his punches are just so straight. He's got very good pressure, good knees, and he can definitely take a punch too. We've seen it a few times. It's kind of his style. Like, he will get hit, but he can definitely take a punch. And yeah, I really like his punching accuracy. That's what stands out to me. He doesn't have crazy power in any one shot a lot of the times. I mean, he does have some solid knockouts in his short career here, but yeah, it's really just like the repetition of these straight punches, and he's got very good knees. He has threatened takedowns before. Like, I've seen from what I've seen from his top game is pretty good, and like I said, his get up ability is good. But yeah, that Mason Jones fight, man, that is really where all the hype is coming from, and I think it's definitely justified. He really put it on him. I think Mason Jones is very, very good, and Onama comes in on short notice as like a 3-1 underdog, and it looked like it should have been a pick 'em. Yeah, and he just dealt out so much damage. So I definitely think that the hype on Onama is deserved. It's just there's not a ton to go off of. He did have a great fight with Mason Jones. Like, everything looks good. It's just we got to see. The other thing is you can tell that the UFC does have some expectations for Onama. You got to look at the matchup sometimes. Sometimes they'll be trying to build somebody up and they'll give them a winnable matchup. And other times, if there's a really good fighter, they tend to kind of start them off with solid veterans. So he fights Mason Jones first, and that's short notice, so we can't take a whole lot from it. But they immediately put him in there with Mowgli Benitez, who is a beast, been around for a while, a lot of wins in the UFC, and his losses are to good opponents. So it is worth keeping in mind. But segueing into Benitez, he's had a couple fights fall through over the last couple years. Most recently against TJ Brown. I was on Brown as an underdog in that one. And I think he would have come through because the whole read there was that his wrestling was going to be a factor. But yeah, Benitez has been around for a while. Tons of fights in the UFC. He's fought a lot of good competition. He is one of those guys who he wins against lower level fighters in the division. And if he takes a step up, he tends to lose. So he's kind of like a gatekeeper, but not on that tier of like a top 15 gatekeeper, though he kind of used to be. He's like a gatekeeper to get to the ranked guy. Like, there are those fighters. Gabriel Benitez has really fallen into being one of those, but that's not to take away from his game. I've really enjoyed Benitez's fight career. He's got very heavy kicks, particularly the calf kicks are what really stands out for him. Good body kicks. Spends a lot of time in southpaw. He can definitely take a punch, but at the same time, he's been dropped multiple times. If we look at his record here, it's like I was saying, got lots of wins, but not really any wins. I mean, there's a couple, but against guys who are still with the promotion. The losses, again, they're respectable. Andre Fili, Enrique Barzola, who just had a great fight with Bellator, got the W, so he's still game. Sadiq Youssef, Omar Morales, Billy Q. These are all UFC veterans, guys who have had some success with the promotion. So it's not like they're terrible losses. And he's done good things in these fights. Like in the Sadiq Youssef fight, he had some success until he got dropped. He had a lot of success against Omar Morales, but his shin was really messed up. Like, the bone was sticking through, so his best weapons were taken away in that one. He's gotten out wrestled before. But like, again, he does get dropped a fair amount. Like, he's kind of hard to put away, but he will get dropped. And then the other thing we just got to look at is in his last few fights, he just looks damaged. He's fought a lot of damaging fights. He bleeds kind of easily, and you just got to wonder how much he's got left in the tank. But yeah, Mowgli Benitez, kind of a gatekeeper. I hate using that term. Like, I feel like it's disrespectful, but like, if we're trying to, cap fights and predict them, like, we just got to kind of call it like it is. If there's a prospect coming through the UFC and they're looking to go up the division, Mowgli Benitez has been a good test for a while at 145. So if we look at the line here, minus 162 for David Onama on uh, FanDuel, but on DK, I know it's a little bit better at minus 145. And that is honestly about where I would put it. I mean, when I watched fight tape for Onama this week, I feel like I'm like a lot of people. I definitely like what I've seen, very high on him. And I think that this price is fair because his skill set from like where it looks like he could be trending, we might look at this line as a gift, but at the same time, Mowgli Benitez, his game needs to be taken seriously. Onama does tend to be very heavy on that lead leg, so we'll see if Mowgli Benitez's calf kicks can really make a difference in this fight. I think if he does win, that is going to be a huge factor for Benitez. But yeah, he can take a punch. Benitez can, but he does get dropped, and I just think that Onama's combination of pressure and accuracy are going to break him down. I would be surprised if he doesn't get dropped once or twice in this fight. Onama is just too relentless. But again, Mowgli Benitez is not just a can you can crush. He's going to put up a fight. Even if Onama does get the finish, I think there's going to be a couple exchanges where Benitez looks good. He's probably going to have those kicks working well. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's just two guys who are trending in different directions. And it's hard not to like David Onama. At minus 145, it's a pretty good price. I think I'm going to take a stab at it. But yeah, the only thing preventing me from laying chalk on it is it's just like we got to pump the brakes just a little bit with David Onama. At least for me, I kind of want to see what he's got. But I do like what I've seen, and I think it's priced about where I would put it. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe, and take it easy.